All right, everyone, welcome back to the 10PDC podcast. I'm Coach Gino, along with my trustworthy camera assistant, Mark.
Hello, hello.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. So, a few updates for all 10PDC members. All the 10th Planet Daily City members, please send your congrats to Logan Diaz for his victory this last weekend for his Muay Thai bout. We will be doing a breakdown video for that in the near future. Send him, again, your congrats for a dominant victory. Logan had a great fight, dominated all 3 rounds. Second California amateur bout. And it was a great show. It was in Ontario, California. We flew down for the fight, had a real good turnout for the event, and it was a really spectacular performance. And we're really proud of you, Logan. Good work out there. Again, everyone send your congrats over to him. Follow him on Instagram, do all that good stuff. We hopefully will get him on the podcast to do the breakdown for his fight soon. Upcoming fights, we have Bryson Davis this weekend at Kezar Pavilion in San Francisco. He will be fighting for his second MMA fight, and that will again be in San Francisco. So all those who are available to come out, come show your support. If you haven't got tickets yet, go grab them from Bryson, and we will have a good crowd out there to cheer him on. This weekend, along with Bryson's fight, we have a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Some of our students will be competing on the Jiu-Jitsu World League tournament and the Grappling Industries tournament. So Jiu-Jitsu World League is in Stockton on Sunday, I believe. Is that right, Mark? Yeah. And then Grappling Industries is San Jose. So San Jose Saturday. So Grappling Industries, those who are competing on Grappling Industries, you will be competing on Saturday. It's the same day as Bryson's fight. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make it for the Grappling Industries. And on Sunday, I'm out of town, so I won't make it then. So again, coordinate with some of the coaches at the gym, some teammates. Make sure you have some support over there to help you warm up, help you corner. If you don't see anyone or don't have anyone at the gym, look around for the 10th Planet schools around the tournament. I'm sure any of them would be happy to help you out with cornering. Just reach out. Again, 10 P NorCal is a strong group, and we are all watching out for each other, and we all try to help each other out during tournaments. As long as we're not competing against each other, we will cheer you on. We will make sure you guys will be supported in one way or another, whether it be coaching or cheering from the sideline. So again, don't hesitate. Reach out to your fellow 10th Planet affiliates. Let them know that you're competing and you need some corner, you need anything. Don't hesitate to ask. It's always good to have a corner man helping you out with these jiu-jitsu matches to give you another look, give you some perspective, and help you guide you through situations you may have struggles with. And yeah, when you're competing, again, make sure you guys are professional. Make the weight. Do what you are required to do to make it to the tournament. And have fun, okay? First and foremost, have fun. It's not worth it if you don't have fun. So good luck to all the competitors out there. All the best. Trust your training. Now, around the gym, again, I said last podcast, it is getting pretty cold. So emphasizing you guys to all do a good, solid warm-up when you guys come in for training, okay? So start slow, get a good warm-up going. If you haven't yet, maybe try a yoga class. There's some yoga classes, Tuesday, Thursdays, you can try before training. You can get into a good stretch, get into yoga, warm your body up, and then you can jump into class afterwards. Saturdays, we have the 9 a.m.s and Sundays as well. Yoga is a great way for you to get your body moving, low impact. You're not going to be working on tussling with guys and moving around in physical altercations or combat. So jump into yoga class, and we have them for a reason for all of our members to give it a shot to get your body moving. Drop-in fees, $10. You guys can do that for the meantime until classes start getting more packed. But yes, yoga classes are available for those who are interested. And again, attire, just make sure you guys are dressing warm. The newsletter, monthly newsletter we put out for the 10PDC members is out. So check your inboxes, check your spam mail. If you do not have that newsletter in your inbox and you are a current member, reach out. We will make sure you get that, and we will make sure you will get the information you need. The newsletter has all the updates for tournaments, has for fight results, has for upcoming fights, and has the updates whether we're having special promotions or not. Again, we are doing a 15% discount for everything in our 10PDC store. Mark, when you have a chance, put it right up here. Some items we have up for sale in the store, and we will get you guys geared up fresh for the holiday discount as well will be helpful for those who are looking to do Christmas shopping early. And with those orders, make sure you place them before it's too late. You don't want to be scrambling to get those before the end of the year and before Christmas. So with that, again, the gym updates pretty straightforward. Fights coming up, newsletters out. Check your inboxes, all that good stuff. We are going to be moving into December soon. So again, the gym typically slows down during the holiday season during December. Just make sure you keep training, keep that immune system strong, staying healthy, and all that good stuff. Any other gym updates, Mark, that I forgot? Okay. Yes, close on Veterans Day. Do not show up on Veterans Day. Do not show up on the Friday or Thursday of Thanksgiving break. We will be closed then as well. So a few breaks we will be closing for so that everyone can recover, staff can recover, and get back into training strong the following days. And yes, okay. Moving right along then, we are going into this weekend's fights. And oh man, what a card we have this weekend for the UFC. UFC 281, is it? 280, let me see. I forget what UFC it is already. There's so many of these events. I was correct. 281. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Man, what a main event. We will be talking about that fight shortly, but let's talk about the two lead-up fights coming before that. There's a lot of good fights on this card, but we will focus on the three main fights that we will be paying attention to this evening. First one, Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. This is going to be a lightweight war. This is guaranteed fireworks. When I say guaranteed fireworks, I mean there's not going to be a lot of laying and praying. There's not going to be a bunch of clinches and holds and a bunch of stalling. These guys come to fight every single time. You never see Dustin in a boring fight. You never see Chandler in a boring fight. And these guys will put on a show. So this is one of those fights that you need to show those guys who are not interested in MMA as much and don't know about MMA. This is one of those introduction fights that, hey, watch this, see the fireworks that come with MMA, and see, man, this one I'm torn with. I'm thinking Poirier because I think Poirier is a little more technical. Chandler's really explosive, and he really likes to get in your face early and put the pressure on. But I think Poirier's been tested a lot. I mean, he's definitely got a chin. He's definitely got the experience. Chandler's experience as well, but I think Poirier is just a little more technical with the boxing, and I think they're going to be ending up going back and forth with the hands. But again, you can never count out Chandler. That guy's got power. He's got explosiveness. You land once on anyone, you're going to get hurt. So I'm leaning toward Dustin. Would not be surprised to see Chandler take the victory. I don't see any submissions in this fight coming, and I don't see it going to decision. I think we're going to see a finish one way or another. One of these guys is going to get dropped and finish, and it's going to be a war. So that fight may be more entertaining than the next two fights, and I'm honestly really excited for that one, just to see the action in this fight. Not that anything's on the line. There's no belt. There's no, just bragging rights, I guess. But there's nothing for these two to win other than a little bit of a bump up in the rankings. And these guys are pretty close up there. They both fought for the titles. They both have been around a long time, and they're just super experienced and seasoned fighters. So super excited to hear or see that fight. And so just keep your eyes on that. Mark, any thoughts on Chandler and Poirier?
It's going to be crazy.
Yes, damn right. It's going to be crazy. So that's enough for me. Okay, moving along. Carla Esparza versus Weili Zhang for the women's strawweight title. Okay, co-main event of the night. Now, this one let's break down. Okay, Carla Esparza, first ever women's strawweight champion, won the Ultimate Fighter, beat Rose Namajunas for it. Beat Rose Namajunas a second time in a very controversial fight. And it was a very, very, how do I put this lightly? Very boring fight. Very, very dull fight. And it wasn't something that anyone was expecting. We were expecting to see. We thought that one was going to be fireworks, but definitely was not. If you do not remember or have not watched that fight, it was a snoozer. And honestly, I'm trying to be nice about this. There was no action, really. There's a lot of hopping around, a lot of like light touches, a lot of head movement, a lot of feints. And we just didn't see as much action as we anticipated. And unfortunately, those fights, it's kind of a toss up who wins those when it's kind of a lulling, dull fight. We don't know who really won. I mean, Rose could have won that. Carla ended up getting the decision victory, so it wasn't a decisive win in any means. But Carla did what she had to do, and she got the win. So what can you do with that? Rose is the ex-champ now, and who knows, after this fight, she may fight again for the title. Hopefully, it's a better fight if Carla wins this fight and they rematch for a third time.
Do you think the first fight, Carla's wrestling in the first fight, is what made Rose so hesitant?
Yes, very good point. Very good point. So we had the first fight, right? Carla definitely dominated in the first fight, took Rose down a bunch of times, and she was really just put in the place. And that was a different Rose Namajunas. That was Rose early on, super confident, super, I guess, fluid. She was moving like really, really nice, and she was kind of just flowing with everything at that time. She didn't have that precision sharpness that she started to develop over the years, and really wasn't like taking people out with the strikes as much as she is now. So Carla definitely took it to her, put the pressure on, and really took her down multiple times in the first fight. Now, when it came down to the second fight, you have to anticipate that a fighter that won is going to use a similar strategy to win a second time, right? Carla's probably going to look for that takedown again in that second fight, and we were all anticipating that. We thought she was going to try to come in and try to grab Rose and bring her down, but that also leaves room for the opponent of that fighter to either engage and risk getting taken down and put the pressure on, or to kind of step back, point fight, try to keep the distance and make sure that they can't get taken down again. And I think that was, you're correct, Mark. I think that was Rose's strategy in the second fight. She did not want to take the fight to Carla and risk getting taken down and stuck on the ground. But again, it just became something where it was really unfortunate for the fans to watch. And I think that if we see a third fight, there's got to be a change of strategy on both ends. Carla's got to come in more aggressively. Rose got to put a little bit more pop on her punches and really try to hurt Carla to get that win. And who knows how that's going to turn out. So moving on now to Weili Zhang. Now, Weili Zhang, former champion, okay, also one of the greatest in that division. And, man, she had such a exciting rise to her championship, man, knocking out people left and right. Weili is one of those fighters with explosive power, dangerous striking, and you can never count her out as long as she's in the fight. Her fight versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I don't know if I'm saying it right, is one of the greatest fights of all time, if you have not watched that fight. She's got highlight reels of spinning elbows, knockout strikes, punches. The way she won the title against Jessica Andrade was devastating. So you're looking at a woman who has won the belt as well, just like Carla, and is now coming back to get her second shot at the title. Now, let's again backtrack on that. Weili fought Andrade for the title, right, Mark? And it was that's when she won the title. Andrade beat Rose for the title. Andrade spiked Rose on her head and pretty much knocked her out with that slam in their fight to win the title. Andrade faces Weili next, and Weili knocks out Andrade's devastating fashion. So, seasoned fighters, very, very experienced fighters in Carla Esparza and Weili Zhang, and now they are matching up for the first time ever. Now, how is this fight going to go? I'm predicting Weili is going to win. I predict Weili is going to get her title back. Weili is not going to wait like Rose did in the last fight. She's going to bring the fight to Carla. And I think Weili's got a little more strength than Rose. She is definitely explosive. She's definitely willing to get in there and bite down and throw. And I don't know if Carla's going to be able to take that pressure. Carla's a great fighter. Who knows? She may weather the storm. She may grab up Weili, take her down, and be able to survive there and throw some ground and pound. Well, I think we will see Weili's ground game tested, and I think we will see Carla's composure with the stand-up tested. And it's going to be, again, a toss-up when it comes down to the fight, but I'm leaning towards Weili. You can never count out former champions. They always got that heart, that will, that determination to come out with the victory. So, favoring Weili, Carla, again, who knows how it's going to turn out. She may, if she does the right strategy, uses the right strategy, then she can come out with the victory. So, Weili Zhang versus Carla Esparza, 5-round fight for the co-main event of the night. And,
listen to these odds right here. I found odds for Carla plus 1,500 to win by knockout or TKO.
For Carla?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damn, you make
bet $100.
Oh, man. Say it again, Mark.
plus 1,500. So if you bet $100 on Carla winning by KO or TKO, you'll win 1,500.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not one to bet. Thanks, Mark, for that. I don't really bet on fights. I always pick them and I pick who I favor and pick who I think is going to win as well. For this one, I favor and think Weili's going to win. But man, if you got some money, you got availability. If Carla wins by knockout, who knows? You're coming up big. You put that money on. I need to get Cuddy Mack on this. Cuddy Mack, if you listen to this, we need to get you on this and bring us your odds. Maybe we gotta cut one of them with a promo for him one of these days. Okay, follow Cuddy Mack on Instagram if you want to get those betting odds. Okay, the Shoey Show. Okay, don't sleep on the Shoey Show. Okay, so with that. I think we will move on to the main event. Unless, Mark, you have last thoughts on Carla and Weili?
I think Weili's going to win, too.
Yes. Okay. Mark's got the pick on Weili. Who do you got on Poirier and Chandler?
Oh, tough. I'm going to go Dustin on that one.
Okay, good. Okay, we're on the same page. Now, the last fight of the night. We got a lot to talk about in this last fight. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Now, if you are not familiar with the history of these two seasoned fighters have met twice before, with Pereira getting the victory in both. In the first fight, we had Israel Adesanya and Pereira. And mind you, these first two fights were kickboxing, not MMA. Okay? In the first fight, Israel Adesanya comes away with a decision loss to Alex Pereira. In the first fight, I haven't watched it too thoroughly, but from what I understand, Israel looked like he was winning. He looked like he was throwing more shots and landing. Pereira was throwing bigger shots. And it's in some sense a controversial decision. I think Israel thought he won. I think a lot of people thought he won. Outpointed Pereira, but Pereira threw some big hands and had some big moments. But Izzy seemed to be taking them shots well. So I am not sure what the judges saw, but you never know when it comes down to decisions and how judges think. The first fight was a decision win for Alex Pereira. On fight number 2, this was a decisive win for Pereira with a knockout victory. But with the caveat that Adesanya seemed like he was winning majority of the fight. So if you watch number 2 back, again, another kickboxing fight, it looked like Adesanya was doing well and fought like a champion. Pereira had a little more confidence in this fight and was like committing more to his shots, really throwing hard. But toward the end, Pereira found that chin and, knocked him out and, put him out cold. And it was definitely no TKO. It was a knockout. And I think that broke the first fight broke Adesanya's winning streak. I think it was 10 fights in a row. I think by the time they fought a second time, it was about a year later, and Adesanya fought 8 more times, and Pereira fought 2 more times in that year in between their fights. So Adesanya was more active. Pereira was still active, but not as much. But Pereira came out with that knockout victory in that second fight. So now we are here in the lead up to the third fight. Pereira has 2 wins over Adesanya, 1 controversial, 1 with a clean knockout. And then Adesanya coming in with this notion that he definitely has the skills to win, but he's got to be super cautious to make sure he does not get touched like that again and get knocked out. In both of these two men's rise to the top of the middleweight division, we saw Adesanya outclassing a bunch of fighters with his striking. Just so many fighters unable to deal with his length, his range, his technical skill, and his fight IQ. Pereira has been on a tear, knocking out guys left and right, jumping knees, left hooks, power, devastating. With his rise, basically during Adesanya's title reign, it was always that question of what if they met in MMA? And what if they were able to come in with the small gloves in the cage, different rules set, and what would happen then? And no one really, I don't want to say no one, I'm sure Pereira thought it was, no one expected, I didn't expect, I should say that Pereira would rise this fast in the middleweight division. And also I didn't think Adesanya would rise this fast in the middleweight division. Kickboxers, you have to respect kickboxers. They're fighting. They are regularly fighting and getting a lot of experience. Even if it's not MMA, it is that fight experience. It's learning how to take a shot on the chin, learning how to throw back in the pocket, learning how to move, learning how to stay balanced. And all that stuff translates to MMA. With the understanding that you have to work more with the grappling, with the cage work, with the clinches, with, getting up off the ground, fighting off the ground. So we haven't seen too much of either Adesanya or Pereira's groundwork. So that could be a deciding factor on this fight. Who's got the better ground game? Alex Pereira is Brazilian. Who knows how his jiu-jitsu is. Adesanya, we've seen a little bit. I want to say the Kevin Gastelum's fight. We saw some scrambles and everything. But I don't think Adesanya has any submission victories, and I don't think Pereira has any submission victories from my understanding. Mark's going to check up on that and see if there is. But really, this is going to come down to the stand-up, I feel. I feel like I don't think Izzy would be able to take Pereira down, and I don't think Pereira wants to take Izzy down. So this becomes a fight of stand-up, and we're going to see who's able to implement their game plan more. Now, if we think about it, Israel Adesanya, he is a rangy, very accurate, active striker. He moves a lot. He touches, and he sets up big shots. He doesn't have that crazy knockout power that Pereira does. But with it being small gloves and having the ability to land, cleaner, he may be able to land more with those little gloves. And on the flip side of that, Pereira's got the small gloves, and he has a better chance to knock out Izzy if he lands the shot on him. So, strategy-wise, I think it would be smart for Adesanya to kind of be patient and just kind of work to touch him up and outpoint him, maybe a technical fighter. It's not fan-friendly. I mean, most fans want to see him bite down on the mouthpiece and just sitting there and throw in the pocket, which is what Pereira wants him to do. But again, we're talking about excitement versus victories, right? So not all exciting fights turn out to be victorious for the person bringing the fight. So as a champion, if you want to keep your championship belt, you have to be smart. You have to actually implement a game plan that's going to work. And it may not be friendly for the fans to watch, but again, the fans are a dime a dozen. There's guys who respect that type of fighting, the technical high-level skill set, and then there's the other ones that just want to see blood and guts and see people's teeth on the floor. As a champion, you have to build your legacy how you want to build it. And I have respect for Adesanya. I think those who don't like his style, who think he's a boring fighter, they don't understand technical mastery with striking. They don't understand being able to be a tactician who is going to come in and calculate his risk versus reward and execute the game plan properly. Pereira is a fan-friendly fighter. He's going to come in. He's a big middleweight. He is huge. He can take shots and he can throw them. And I think that Pereira being a fan-friendly fighter may put him in the line of fire. And again, he's okay. He's okay with that. We've seen him go in the pocket, go forward, and throw. So for me, knowing Izzy and knowing Pereira's skills, I am leaning towards a decision victory for Israel Adesanya. I think Izzy is going to be playing it smart. I don't think he's going to try to come in and show the world he can be durable and fight and try to fight like Pereira wants to fight. He's going to fight the way the style bender fights. He's going to be smart. He's going to be tactical. He's going to approach every exchange with caution, and he's going to make sure that he wins every exchange. He's not going to put himself in a bad spot. Now, again, the other side of that, Pereira just needs to touch him once. Just once. Once he finds that shot and lands on the button, it's night-night for Izzy. I mean, we've seen him get knocked out before, and we've seen Pereira. He has not slowed down at all since he came into the UFC. He's been knocking out guys left and right. If Pereira lands with a shot, it is going to be a real tough recovery for Izzy to come back. And who knows, Izzy is a champion. If he gets hit, maybe he'll be able to recover and get to the clinch and work into, some ground or work into, his wrestling. We haven't seen it before, but it's MMA now. That's the other thing. Once Pereira lands the shot, what is Izzy going to do to react? If he gets knocked down, there's no standing 8 count here. If Pereira follows him to the ground and Izzy's able to clinch up and hold and starts to throw up attacks, who knows? Who knows? This is why this fight is so damn exciting and thrilling. We don't know what's going to happen when two guys who have fought in a different rule set meet in a new rule set and test who is the greater fighter, who's the one who can come out on top with the rule set being so different than the original rule set. The original kickboxing rule set, you're limited. You don't have the ability to go to the ground. You don't have the ability to continue fighting once you get knocked out. In MMA, it's anything goes. You're locked in a cage. There's no rope either. Ropes give you a little bit more wiggle room. Cages are walls. Once you jump up against the cage, you can't rope a dope. You can't just be swinging and moving and trying to dodge punches. So we got a lot of factors in this fight. I'm super excited to see it. Once the fight is over, we'll do a post-fight breakdown of it and hopefully the other fights as well. But we have some exciting fights this weekend. I am super excited for them. You find anything, Mark, on Pereira, on his submissions or anything? Or
He only lost by submission.
so that's another
first MMA fight.
First MMA fight. What was it? Triangle?
Rear naked choke.
Okay. Now, again, he lost by decision. That doesn't mean too much. We knew Pereira is not a grappler, and he's a striker. I don't think Izzy's won by submission, has he? No. He's got no wins by submission. So, again, we're talking about a guy who lost one fight by submission and another guy who's never won a fight by submission. Okay, so when it comes down to the jiu-jitsu and the grappling, it's kind of out of the picture when you think about it. But the thing about MMA is you never know when you get surprised. You never know when out of a sudden someone's just on the ground, the crazy rear naked choke pops up out of nowhere, or triangle or armbar. It's anyone's game right now. So leave your comments if you have any thoughts on this fight or any other fights I talked about. Again, if you have, guys, anything you want me to answer on this podcast, any questions and whatnot, let me know in the comments. We're going to do our best to make sure we answer all of them for you guys and give you guys good content. Like I said, fight breakdown coming soon for Logan Diaz's last fight. We will put once we get him in here to talk about that, we can break it down and we can have some fun with that. So again, podcast going to be coming up weekly. Make sure you guys subscribe. Please like, please share. Please let us know what you think, and if you guys have any requests for us to and topics for us to talk about, we will address them as soon as we can. Mark, any last thoughts before we close out today?
So excited for this weekend. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, and we will definitely be breaking down Bryson's fights and as well. So we will have a good time. So again, everyone, take care, train hard, stay consistent. I will see you all later. Take care.